Certainly one of the day's big stories we're tracking for you this afternoon. A student was fatally wounded when gunmen opened fire on a parked vehicle in Braamfontein in Johannesburg yesterday. 2 others succumbed to their injuries. The brazen shooting in broad daylight raises serious questions about the safety of the streets of the city. Let's bring in the MMC for Public Safety. Tshwaku joins us for more on the story. Mgcini, it's great to talk to you. Thanks very much indeed for coming on. And I mean, the list of tragedies and disasters on the streets of Johannesburg just keeps on growing, right, with this latest incident?
No, that one is there is a reason of what happened. So that's probably why I'm here to explain it. And I think that we are, as a public safety, we're doing everything in our powers to ensure that we are fine. Obviously, these incidents, they will just come every now and then. But there is sort of a preliminary reason what happened, and this is what we've been seeing happening in the city of Johannesburg.
Can you tell us more about what that reason is?
All right. There is a brewing. You can call it a disagreement or a war between the taxi associations. But the police, working with the JMPD, they are trying to investigate further. It looks as if there is a turf war between 2 taxi associations, and the people. Last week there were 2 incidents where when a taxi driver was shot at the MTN taxi rank, and then we put in an undercover unit working with the police. We could not get that person, the shooter. On the second incident, it had happened again just a week after that. A person was shot at the MTN taxi rank around that area again. Now this one, the 2 individuals that were shot yesterday, those were the taxi owners, 2 taxi owners. So unfortunately, our students, they're so rest in peace. They were caught in a crossfire, but that was actually targeted at the 2 taxi owners that were in that car there. So this information, we actually got it from the taxi violence unit within the JMPD, and also talking to the taxi violence with the SAPs. So there is that kind of investigation that is actually going on. What is the disagreement all about between them? Yeah, so it is deeper than you think. It's not that someone was just shooting at the students, all of that. But unfortunately, our students, they became a collateral. So I've instituted I said to the taxi violence unit held by Superintendent Nguna to give us a detail in terms of which taxi associations, what is really happening, and all of that. So we're just waiting for that report, so that at least there must be a sort of an intervention from the province side, the police, and also us as well, to just get the bottom of it. Obviously, what we can think that, every time when there's a disagreement between the taxi association, sometimes it's a matter of a route, but we are not. We don't have them as yet, due to the sensitive nature of the situation. So we are on top of it in terms of using the JMPD violence, taxi violence unit.
Now, this is completely new information coming to us.
Yes.
This confirmation now that it is indeed related to taxi violence. I suppose the question then becomes, Mgcini, if we knew about this as far as a week ago, and if even before this incident yesterday, 2 other people had been shot dead in taxi-related violence, should we not have issued some kind of warning to residents and students in the inner city?
Look, we were not actually sure. We thought that it was an isolated incidences. Maybe it was an assassination. We were not quite 100% sure. Because we were on top of because the shooters, they just shoot and it's sort of an assassination attempt. And then when our guys went in trying to understand what is happening and all of that, we managed now to link all of this. We thought it was just an incident of some associations and that would be happening, and between what happens in the city of Johannesburg, like in the CBD, and then. But this one of yesterday, when we inquired from the JMPD Taxi Violence Unit and the Police Violence Unit, is that it looks as if there was a meeting that was held between the taxi association. So that incident happened afterwards. And then that's when now we're able to link that, and we're able just to get snippets of information that it looks as if there's some disagreement between these two, like there's some associations. We are not sure yet which ones are those. We are getting to the bottom so that we can go out on public on something we know. It just happened probably like, I think, last week, Friday, Monday-ish, and all of that. So it's something very new. So we are on top of it. We don't want to be very careless and start issuing this warning and statement on something that we don't even know. Because remember, even going into those, the circles, it's very difficult because of the nature. If you have the taxi bosses and you've got all these things and all of that, it's very difficult to really penetrate and understand what is happening. But we are in consultation. We hope that hopefully by the end of today, we're able to really get a confirmation from the leadership of the taxis, if indeed there is something that is going on that we should be knowing. And then we'll be the first one to really issue that, because we don't want to be careless and be alarmist. And then after that, we've got the taxi chairmen and the bosses saying that, but why are we choosing them? But yesterday, based on the information I got from the JMPD Taxi Violence and then some of the police that were there, they're saying that it can be linked to that, because the people who passed on are the taxi. They were the taxi owners, and the incident happened just after when there was a meeting. And also when we link now on what happened last week, because there were taxi owners, the taxi person that were in their taxi sitting, waiting in a queue, and they were shot. So we're trying to ask ourselves, is there something that is happening? We put up this team urgently yesterday that can they get in the bottom of this, so that we're able to have that engagement. Also I'm just also have to talk to MMC, some of the MMCs also. I think also Mgcini has been the person that has been talking to the taxi guys, who MMC can. So also I'm just going to be in conversation, maybe just ask within the taxi bosses to check if there's anything happening. Remember, can I just come in there for a second? I want to respond to your issue around not wanting to be alarmist, in the wake of those shooting incidents that would have occurred before yesterday's incident. I get that on one hand. On the other hand, if being alarmist would have prevented the loss of an innocent life yesterday, this 18-year-old student who was just trying to get to or from the University of Johannesburg, trying to get an education, it may well have saved that student's life, right? So in the event of not being alarmist, what other steps were taken in light of the information? Yes, you hadn't confirmed the information yet that it might be taxi-related, these two shootings that happened last week. But given that you were sniffing out that it might be taxi-related, what other measures were put in place? For example, your new tactical reaction unit, which was launched last week, were there more boots on the ground? Yes, there were more boots on the ground. I can confirm that. On the second, we've managed to approach an individual that has been believed that to be one of the shooter in the second incident. If you go to the JMPD Twitter handle, we've actually did saying that we've got a person that we actually got. More of the tactical unit have been on the ground. Just to really go on that as well. Even yesterday, when we heard that of the incident that actually happened, they were on top of it's a Fiat. What's that kind? Yeah, we were actually rushing or chasing one of the getaway cars that were there. So last week, more boots on the ground, and then on the second incident, we managed to really confiscate someone and arrest someone that had a pistol with him walking around and around the area as well. So, but we're still doing the ballistics and check what is actually happening. But yes, indeed, the guys have been working around the old truck. Look, what happened yesterday was just unfortunate. It's like, the opening of fire around, the student itself and all of that. And yeah, it was a very sad scene. I was there as well. I actually saw it.
Yeah.
I think all of us, ourselves,
it begs the question if this new tactical reaction unit is making a difference. In your opinion, number one, is it making a difference? And secondly, you made an arrest, you said, in relation to last week's shooting. Is there any kind of arrest that's in the works in connection with yesterday's shooting in which that 18-year-old student was killed?
Look, the Tactical Reaction Unit, JMPD True, it's actually making a huge one. The difference. You can ask even SEPs at the police station. We will in time that, just that we've been saying that we actually going to show you the success that they had. I mean, from November up until now, remember December up until now, we've recovered almost close to 75 guns. And then there's a lot, it's quite a number of cars that have been confiscated, the cars, the stolen cars, and also the operation that they've done, drug-related issues, is making quite a difference. I think these communities out there are feeling it. In deep slot, I mean, that people were actually been dropped like flies as well there. When was the last time you've heard something is happening there? Because the technical reaction has been there. We've arrested 3 people who have been the suspects in terms of the shooting that has been happening there. In Orange Farm, that there have been murders and people getting dropped every single time. Tactical Reaction Unit has been there working with SAPs. If you want to confirm this information, ask the station, the Deep Slot Police Station, Orange Farm Police Station, Central of Johannesburg Police Station, and Hillbrow 1. The guys are we're working extremely hard. That incident that happened yesterday was really, very unfortunate. But as I said to you, that this information that I'm telling you even right now is coming from the undercover unit, which is at the JMPD, and then also with the taxi violence unit there at the JMPD by Supunguna. Yeah, well, yes.
All right, Mgcini Tshwaku, let me thank you for your time. And that is the latest coming out of that story, that really heartbreaking story of a student being caught in the crossfire after gunmen opened fire in Braamfontein yesterday. New information there coming to light from Mgcini Tshwaku, who is the MMC for Public Safety, that indeed it looks like it's related to a turf war between 2 taxi associations.